Can we be really real at the gig today? When my hair is out of my face, I sort of feel like Uncle Fester, for real. So in honor of spring being right around the corner, today I'm transforming from this to this. So as you can see, we don't have time for any chit chat, so let's just get started. So obviously we're starting off with eyeshadow base. Okay, so I've decided I wanted to do a lilac type of pastel purple look. So I'm gonna be using 3 purple shades, a medium, a light, and a dark. And I'm first of all gonna start with the medium shade, and I'm gonna put it on a small detailed brush, and I'm just gonna run it through my crease. So this is from the Love Tahiti palette by Be Perfect. And right now I'm using the shade Tahiti. And obviously you don't have to use this shade, you don't have to use this palette, you don't even have to use this color story for real. You could do, you know, pastel blues, pastel pinks. Now again, I'm going over this a second time just to make it a little bit more pigmented, but the goal is not for you to bring out the maximum pigmentation of the shade. The goal is really for it to look nice and pastel, but obviously you can build it up to an intensity that you're comfortable with. Now I'm taking a clean brush, and this one is slightly bigger, and I'm just buffing out the edges. So now that I've built that up to an intensity that I'm satisfied with for the moment, I'm just taking shade Lilac from that exact same palette, and I'm using the exact same brush that I used to apply that first shade, Tahiti, and I'm just blending out the edges of Tahiti with shade Lilac. So if now that you've blended it out with the lightest shade, you've decided that you need to intensify that middle purple a little bit more, just like I've decided, then by all means do that right now. So now we're bringing that middle shade to the lower lash line and blending it out. Now again, I'm blending it out with that same small detailed blending brush, and this is the Sigma E36, which I live by and die by and breathe by, to be honest. So now using the darkest purple that I plan on using, which for me is shade Grape from that same palette that we've been using thus far, I'm just using my exact same brush and applying it to the very outer corner of my eye like this. Now, I don't know if you've noticed in any of my other videos, or maybe perhaps this one, but I tend to use like 1 or 2 brushes if I'm doing a smoky eye. And even if I'm doing more complicated eye looks, I don't use a lot of brushes. I maybe use 4 max. And the reason for that is just because I feel like I don't need to, you know. I feel like if you find the right brushes for you, you don't need to use 50 brushes per eye look, which is what I used to do in the past. But now I'll use 2 or 3 and I'm good to go. Okay, so that's pretty much done. Now comes my favorite part, which is the shimmer. And I'm now using the Trixie Cosmetics Bottle Blonde palette, and I'm getting the shade Polished on a flat brush. And I'm just applying it to the inner corners of my eye. So we want today's look to look multi-dimensional, so we're dipping back into the Love Tahiti palette, and this time I'm using the shade Blue Moon. And I'm just gonna apply it wherever I didn't apply that first shade. So as you can see, Blue Moon is this beautiful lilac shade with blue reflex that really made the eye look pop. Now if you wanted to, you could add liquid liner here as well, maybe even a little wing, but I just want this to stay really soft, and so I'm not gonna do that. What I am gonna do though is dip into a white highlighter with a soft pink shimmer to it. Now I'm using a highlighter that is no longer available, sadly, so I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but any highlighter will work here, and I'm just applying that right underneath the brow bone. So now I'm moving on to my base, and for that I'm gonna prime first, and I'm using a pore filling primer around my nose and sort of around my T-zone area, and just a regular hydrating primer on the rest of my face. So something I love doing for spring and summer makeup looks is highlighting underneath my base, and I'm doing this using a liquid highlighter. I'm using a L'Oreal one, and this, once blended out with the foundation and everything else, is gonna look really pretty, and it's gonna give you a glow from within. Now don't be afraid to put a lot of this on because it will get covered, so it's gonna sheer out. I'm also gonna highlight the chin and forehead just a little bit. Now I'm just applying a medium coverage foundation to my face, and I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me. I didn't apply it on the areas where I have the liquid highlighter, but I am going to just blend in whatever's left of the foundation on those areas. Now while I clean up around my brows with my foundation, I want to talk to you about the fact that I don't normally tell you exactly what I'm using in each video, and there's a reason for that. I don't normally say the names of all the products because I just don't want you to think that to recreate any of my looks, you absolutely need to have the products that I have. Because that's just fully not true, you know? You could recreate any of my looks with any products that you already have at home, whether they're high-end, low-end, whatever, it doesn't matter. As long as you're using, you know, the same color story or the same coverage or whatever I'm using in that specific video, you're gonna be fine and you're gonna be able to recreate each look perfectly, believe me. You guys are getting an exclusive today because I normally cut this part out of all of my videos because it just takes too long and, you know, it's not that interesting, but this is your treat for today. I'm just kidding. This is literally your punishment for today. So now we're concealing and I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me to conceal any redness or any spots. Then I'm using the Catrice Liquid Camouflage Concealer for my dark circles. Now I'm setting my under eyes with the Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder, but I'm immediately knocking it off. I'm not baking. Now I'm taking the Juvia's Place Tribe Highlighter Volume 3 and I'm applying it to the very inner corners. So I'm gonna bronze at this point, and sometimes I do that with the cream. And now I'm just gonna do that with the powder bronzer, and I'm gonna bronze, you know, my cheekbones, my chin, and my forehead as well. I'm really trying to fool people into thinking that I actually go outside sometimes.
Not this.
And for this, I'm using the Makeup Revolution Trio Highlighter, Blush, and Bronzer palette that I talked about in one of my older drugstore favorite videos, which I'm gonna link up here, by the way, if you wanna see what the tea is. Now I'm gonna use a cream blush today just because I got this new one and I really wanna try it, and I'm using it in a peachy pinky tone. This is the Rare Beauty Blush in Bliss. Now I'm just stippling this in with a brush, but you could also use your hand. Now on top of that, I am layering a little bit of this, the Balm Game Day Blush. I'm using the shade Pre-Party. It's this really cute Pinch Me Pink color because I really want it to look really cute for spring, you know? Now on top of that liquid highlighter that we had going on, we're just gonna put a little bit of this Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighter. This is the shade Precious Petals. I love this one for spring. It's so natural, but really gives you a beautiful glow. So normally I don't do this, but I'm just gonna apply a beige eyeliner into my waterline, not white, beige. I want to look awake, not scary, okay? Now I'm applying the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and I'm gonna wait for that to dry before I apply another coat. But while I wait for that, I'm just gonna line my lips. This is the Makeup Revolution lip liner in the shade Sweet. Now I only do this on occasion when I feel a little extra, but if you want, you could clean up the edges of your lip liner with a little bit of your foundation on a flat brush. Now I'm using a MAC Cream Sheen lipstick in the shade Fanfare, and I'm applying that all over my lips. So now all that's left is lip gloss, and I'm applying this Benefit Punch Pop lip gloss in the shade Bubblegum. So that's it. We're done with today's look. This is my sort of introduction to spring look, and I hope you like it. Let me know if you try it out, and thank you so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!